Hi, hey, and hello there. We are back for another comic video today, and we are covering the newest Spider-Verse story because, yes, Marvel ain't done milking this story yet. The series sees the return of Dan Slott after being away from Spidey stories for a while now. For a good reason if you ask me, but hey, let's see what he's got. So, we see the issue kicks off with Pete monologuing to us about fate and what is essentially a sort of take on the butterfly effect. But Peter turns this on his head by saying that no one ever really truly has a choice. Like, for example, how it wasn't his choice to be bitten by that spider. It was all completely random. All I ever planned on being was plain old Peter Parker. I never asked to be Spider-Man. It just happened, he said, as we see a nice paneling of the day he got bit by the spider. Now we cut to present day, and Peter's on the phone with Norman Osborn, and Norman's kind of asking him to catch this stolen Oscorp truck. Oh, yeah, I should mention, this is probably one of the only holdovers from Nick Spencer's run. Ever since the Sin Eater battle, Norman has been cleansed of all the evil within him. Now, if you don't know who Sin Eater is, he's basically a character that made his debut back in Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 1, number 107. Sin Eater was a big part of the storyline about the death of Detective Jean DeWolf. That's a whole nother story for another day though. Sin Eater essentially gained the ability to literally absorb the sins of his victims during Nick Spencer's Sins Rising storyline. He shot down Norman Osborn and basically turned him into a good guy. Following that, Norman decided not only to offer Peter a job, but make him a new spider suit as well as some gear to go with it, as we see in this issue. It's a shame that they couldn't have kept more from Nick Spencer's run, but I won't go on that rant right now. Anyway, Peter suits up and takes to the streets. Well, skies, as he tracks down the stolen truck. One thing to note here is that Spidey now has this robot assistant named Bug that assists him on his missions. Well, almost like a robot pet, if you will. He sends Bug ahead of him and he tracks down the stolen truck. After a quick chase and rescue of a woman and her child, Spidey manages to apprehend the criminals while singing an admittedly slightly cringy song called Hyphen Man because one of the criminals said his name wrong. He remains at the scene of the crime on Norman's orders, but while he's there, we see that he's being watched from a portal. We then cut to Loon World, where we see Shathra, okay, I'm going to call her Shathra. Shathra was inadvertently rescued by Anna May, who is Peter Parker's daughter in another universe, the Renew Vows universe to be exact. Now, Shathra has a large, complex story, and is honestly going to require a video of its own to be real. But to put it simply, she's known as Spider-Wasp, and she has it out for 616 Peter, because who doesn't, of course. Peter did deal with her before and defeated her. She has the ability to send out these, Spider-Wasps, that if they sting a spider person, they become her underlings, basically. Which is also what happened to Anna. She immediately sends out a swarm of her Spider-Wasps through the portal to attack Peter. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Madam Web, along with Anya Corazon and one other spider person who has recently been introduced, so forgive me for not knowing her name at this moment, but yeah, they're aware of what's going on. So Madam Web was like, nah, he's the chosen one, so we're gonna need to save him, and we're gonna need to keep him safe. And Anya doesn't like this because, well, Peter does kind of get big-headed a little bit sometimes when it comes to certain stuff, all in fun and games, of course. But Madam Web ignores her and sends out the signal to all the spider people in 616 that they need to converge on Peter's location. Zarina, oh yeah, that's her name. That's the new Spider Girl's name, Zarina. She basically is like, yeah, no, we're gonna need to send the biggest gun. And man, oh man, I gotta say, the big gun is more like a freaking bazooka. We cut back to Spidey, who's signing autographs at this point and talking to Norman about not usually staying behind after his job is done, which is true. Usually Spidey shows up, kicks butt, and leaves a note. And seeing as he finds himself having to tell a bad kid to get off a Bug because apparently kid thinks that the Bug is a toy, and Bug isn't a toy, so get off a Bug, he's not a toy kid. Sorry. Anyway, I see why he usually keeps it moving. But then suddenly his spider sense kicks in as a portal opens and Shathra's wasp comes swarming through it, causing a panic from everyone around Spidey. While trying to tackle this problem, a second portal opens, and this time it's none other than Morlun. Now look, if you know anything about Spider-Man lore, then you know Morlun is like an all hands on deck red alert, like SOS help a Spidey out situation. Morlun is just that strong, and it's because of this that Spidey immediately jumps into action. The only thing is, he doesn't realize that Morlun is trying to tell him something. He repeatedly swings on Morlun, who isn't particularly fighting back yet. But he's also starting to get annoyed with Spidey. So Spidey ends up webbing his mouth and won't listen to him. Morlun then decides, alright then, since you want to throw hands, let's throw some hands. And proceeds to beat the crap out of Spidey. Oh, and to add insult to injury, when Bug attacks Morlun to help Peter, Morlun crushes it, calling it a toy. Now, I hadn't been reading Zeb Wells' run yet anyway, and that kind of hurt. Bug seemed like such a cool pet. Anyway, Norman is reading Peter's vitals and he's like, hey, is everything okay? What the heck is going on? And also, what the heck are you doing to my suit? And Spidey's sitting out here looking like,
my back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me.
Luckily, Miles and Silk pop up and save the day. And Peter's like, Silk, Miles, how'd you know I was here? Out loud in front of a crowd of people. Oh, my bad. See, y'all don't know. It irritates the frick out of me when people just yell out Miles' name in front of people. I mean, I know it's a writing mistake and all, but damn it, y'all. This is not Metropolis. Y'all don't live in Metropolis. These folks ain't that damn stupid. Come on. Anyway, we see that Jessica Drew Spider-Woman has also arrived. And upon seeing 3 different Spider allies show up, Peter is like, we're doing Spider-Verse again, aren't we? Preaching to the choir there, Peter. Soon after, another portal opens up, and Spider-Man Noir pops out. At this point, Morlun is surrounded. The might of 5 different spiders should be more than enough to beat him. I should also mention that every spider person here has been stung by the freaking wasps that are just kind of sitting there chilling, watching the show. So yeah, I guess we'll address that later. Anyway, Noir's like, yo, I got this, and reaches into his pocket. But he doesn't pull out his old trusty pistol. Instead, he pulls out a dagger, and Peter's like, hey, where the gun at? And at this point, Noir grabs Jessica Drew and stabs her in the stomach with the knife. But she feels no pain. But right as she's trying to question what the heck is going on, she literally begins to unravel. Because apparently this knife has the ability to sever a spider person's connection to the web of life. So Jessica pretty much fades away, Wicked Witch style, you know, the whole, oh, what a world type of thing. Anyway, Peter falls to his knees with her strands of webs in his hand. It's at this moment that Noir attempts to stab Peter until, boom! Morlun cracks Noir with the right hook, and we find out that Morlun is the big gun that Madam Web sent. He rips the web off his mouth and is like, look, your Spider-Verse has fallen, I'm here to help. After this, Noir grows these mandibles on his face and is like, yeah, you out of friends, buddy. And suddenly, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Punk, and May Parker leap in from 3 additional portals, Avengers Endgame style. And that's where we'll leave it off today. What's going to happen to the remaining Spider members? What's going to happen to them now that they've been stung? Because clearly, they haven't realized it. Will Morlun continue to be an ally? What caused this change in heart? Will Shothra get vengeance on her 616 Peter? Find out next time on the Comic High Ground. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked what you saw here. And remember, we have the high ground. Thanks for watching.